Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Today we are going to do a really pretty summer lemon arrangement. So lemon decor is always really popular in the summer. So I thought we could do a little summer lemon arrangement. So what we're going to be using is these little dough bowls. This is just I think it's like a 10-inch dough bowl. Use any type of wooden bowl. If you don't have a bowl, you could also do the same arrangement on just like a little wooden plank. Same thing, just something to hold our florals, right? And so I've taken just a little bit of foam and I've covered it with some of our sheet moss, Spanish moss, whatever you have around. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with one of our lemon stems. This is gonna be our tallest piece. So I'm gonna start with it in the center. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little towards the back, but in the center. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure I give all of our little stems a bend. Get our leaves how we want them. We want our leaves to be nice and pretty and facing outward. So I'm just gonna bend all these, get our leaves kind of where we want them. Okay. And before we go in with any more lemons, I think I'm gonna add a bow on this one. So sometimes I add bows, sometimes I don't. I think on this one, because I have this really pretty lemon fair silk ribbon, I wanna add a nice bow. So I'm thinking we can add it maybe right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on our bow. I'm just gonna use the one ribbon. We're just gonna keep it pretty simple. So my tails, you know, not super long, about right there. I don't measure, so I'm just gonna pinch it. Now I do want my loops fairly large because we're gonna be adding green, not that large. We're gonna be adding greenery in here and we don't want our bow to get swallowed up. Okay, so about that big. And make sure that's about the same size. Actually, let me start over. I'm gonna make these loops just a little bit smaller, and then we'll do double loops. I'm trying to see if I want double loop or single loop. Let's do double loops. Okay. So now we'll make this one a little bit bigger. Make it slightly bigger, so maybe like a 1/2 inch, maybe, you know, about that much bigger. That one's too big. You can use your bow maker. Okay, that's pretty good. Keep my tail just a little longer. We can trim it down if we need to. Let me get a pipe cleaner. Okay. Now let's see, do I have a wooden pick? Oh, I have a little wooden pick. Here it is. Take a little wooden pick, and I'm just gonna wrap my pipe cleaner around it. And then I'm gonna take the little wire on this and just wrap it around. Now we have a little pick for our ribbon. I'm going to take and add just a little bit of glue on there, and then I'm going to get a little bit of moss. Here's a bag that's open, so I'm just going to get a tiny bit of moss and just kind of wrap around there, and that'll help hold that together. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let me cut that down a little bit. I don't want it quite that long. I do want it up, you know, I don't want it to get sunken down, but I don't want it that high. All right, so let's Put that right in there. I'm gonna let that glue dry a little bit before we start messing with it. So we'll have our little bow in there. Okay, so I think I'll leave it in case we want to add another tail, but I think we'll probably just stick with that. Okay, so again, I don't want to play with it too much till that glue dries. Let's anchor our bow a little bit. So let's go in. I'm gonna go in a little bit with this. Let's use this one. Let's use our mini ivy spray. I'm just gonna cut it into pieces here. And I'm just gonna kind of go around our bow with that. Gonna give it some support. Just bending it. Go right up under my loop. Okay, so I'm just kind of anchoring my bow. Got a little mini piece here. We'll save it for the bottom. Okay, let me get another one. I think I brought in 3 of these, so we should be good. I'm just gonna cut these off. All right, let's go in and anchor on this side. I just left my tag on there. Okay, and let's get one more piece over on the back side here. Let's see which piece is taller. This one's taller. Okay, so I've just kind of put some of that ivy around, sort of help anchor our bow. I think I want my tail like that. Okay, I'm just going to cut these tails at a diagonal. This one I'm going to leave long for right now, and then we might cut it down, but okay. So now let's go in with, I'm going to take this other piece of ivy and I'm going to go out with it a little bit. Okay. And then I'll save this other branch for the end when we start getting into filling. Okay, let's go take another lemon stem. Now I'm going to take and pull these pieces apart. So we'll have our greenery. Let me cut this down. I'm going to go in on the side here. So now we have another little lemon kind of tucked in, anchoring our bow. Again, I'm going to make sure all my little greenery stems are facing the right direction. Okay, let's go in right in here with another lemon. I'll leave these leaves on this one. Cut it down. Go right next to this other one. I'm going to bend these stems. And again, I'm going to turn my leaves. You always want to make sure you don't just stick them in. You got to make sure your leaves are pretty. Some of the leaves, you know, some of the stems you can't really mess with your leaves because they don't really bend, but these ones bend nicely, so we can just kind of get them in there like that. Okay, so now let's get another lemon. Bring more towards the front. Okay, and this greenery is going to be too long, so I'm going to pull it apart. Let's just get our little lemon. put it right in here. I want it kind of right, tucked in right there. Okay. Trying to see if I want one more lemon. We might as well use it because it's the last one that I have. So I'm just pulling the lemon off of here. We'll use the greenery in a minute, but we might not use all of it. So when you pull these, they're kind of short, so if you need them longer, just make a little pick. And I'm thinking I want this one to come up a little bit. So because my stem is short, we need to put it on a stick. So let me just get a little piece. Yeah, let's get it. Okay, so let me get my little floral wire. We're just going to extend our little lemon. So I'm just going to put that on there and then take my wire and wire all the way around it. And then we'll take a little bit of our Spanish moss. I'm just going to hit this with a little glue right here, just kind of help pull that together. And then I'll take some glue down here, hold this together. And then let me get my Spanish moss. Now y'all, I just had it. Oh, there it is. I'm losing my mind today. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my moss and just push around that. Help hold it together. Hide some of our little mechanics. And then I want this one. Y'all, I cut that and then it didn't come all the way off and I dipped it in the glue. What am I going to do with myself today? Okay, well, I got to let that dry because I don't want to stick my scissors in that. But my thought is we'll put it kind of up in here. I just got to wait for this to dry. So see what I did? I went to cut it and it didn't come all the way off and I stuck it in the glue. I was rushing myself. Okay, so let me set this over here. I'm going to let it dry and then we'll cut it. Okay, so let's go in, we'll wait on that. Let's go in with a couple of our little pieces that we cut off that lemon stem. Again, I'm just gonna fix my leaves. And we'll add some of these to this arrangement. Okay. So I think I'm gonna go in with one right up underneath this little bow here. Okay, so I just went right there with it. Okay, so I'm going to add a few pieces of our fern. It came off of that lemon stem. So let me add a pick on it. Add one right underneath our bow loop, just like that. Okay, let's get another piece. Okay, let's go right under here, sort of underneath that little ribbon tail. I'm going to take this little piece. I'm going to fix my leaves. I think I can get this one in there without a pick. I'm going to put that right there by our little lemon. So right there by our little lemon. Okay, now let's go back to our little lemon that we made our pick for. Now that my glue is dry, I can cut that off. And we're gonna add this kind of over here. go right in. Right in there. Our little lemon. Okay. And don't worry about the moss. We're gonna have other greenery in there, so it'll get covered up. Okay, let's go in with another one of our little fern pieces. I'll have to stick that back in there and glue it. There we go. You just add a little glue on that pick so that it doesn't come out. Okay. All right. I've got this little scrap piece of leaves that came from who knows what project. Let's add this in like right in here. You use whatever type of leafy green you have. Just gonna tuck it in right there. And let's use the other piece on maybe back here. Make sure that's in there really good. There we go. I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit of glue to make sure I got it in there. All right. Okay, so I added our little greenery bits. I'll take another piece of our little leafy stem that came off of our lemon, and I want to put it right in here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take this little scrap or this little piece from our lemon stem, and I'm going to put it right down towards the bottom. So I'm just filling in down at the bottom a little bit. Okay. So we have a couple pieces left. Let's see. I think we need to bring in a little bit more, something else that's yellow. A little bit more than just our lemons. So I may go get me a little yellow filler bush. Let me add this one. Add it back here. So I'm adding towards the bottom, just kind of filling in some of this space down here. Let's get another piece and we'll use it. Oh, I just tore that leaf right off. Let's use it towards the bottom on the side over here. So I'm just kind of filling in around the bottom a little bit. So I've got another piece, a couple pieces of fern. I have one more little leafy bush. Let's take this piece. I want to use all these pieces, and I'm going to use them towards the bottom since they're kind of small. So let's use that right in here. Sort of right underneath our little lemon there. Okay, we got this piece. This is a little taller piece. I think I kind of want to put it in the middle of our bow there. Let me just shape my leaves up, and it has a little flower. So that'll be cute. Okay, since I'm going to try to go down in that, let me put a pick on it. Try to go right down in the center of our bow there. Love it. Okay. I'm gonna go see if I can find a little something, a little filler flower that we can add in here. I think we need a little bit of we're pretty heavy on the greenery, so let's pull in a little bit of a different floral. So let me go grab that. Okay, so I found this little yellow wildflower bush. Let's add a few pieces of this in here, just to break up that greenery and pull in a little bit of the yellow. Okay, so let's do a piece. I just gave that stem a little bit of a bend. We're gonna go sort of right down in there like that. See how that just gives it a little, we'll just mix it in with our greenery there. Okay, let me get another piece. Let's go right back here. We're going to go sort of right down in the center, right next to that, right next to this one. I'm gonna bring a little bit of this darker yellow because these are, we've got sort of a light and darker yellow. I got a darker yellow right here, so I'm gonna kind of go opposite. And let's put a darker yellow towards the front here, kind of diagonal. Okay. Now we'll take a lighter yellow. Kind of go diagonal over here with it. Okay. Let me see if I want to add any more. Thinking let's add a piece kind of coming up right next to this stem. Right there. Perfect. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't want to add any more. Just a little pop of the yellow in there. Got our pretty bow. I think our tail length is probably good. Leave it. Now let's just take and fill in a little bit more around the bottom, and then this little summer piece will be done. So I had originally brought in this bush, but they're a little ficus bush, but I don't think we're going to use it. I think we'll just finish using in some of our little pieces that we had from our lemon stem. So I got a couple of these little fern pieces. So let's try to use these up. Okay. I'm just kind of laying that one underneath that one. Let's do one over here on the side. Okay, so I'm going to go right in underneath here. Kind of mix that with our other little greenery. Let me take a look. I think we are about done. I think it looks really good. Here's our little lemon arrangement. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye y'all.